The cars come down this straight, around this corner. And they go onto the street, they close off part of the city, and many other guys like that will talk about how batteries are not the future, or they say, you know, they're garbage for cars because you need so many of them, they're so heavy. True, but then again, look at this thing. This little backpack sized device can go 200 kilometers on a charge, 80 kilometers per hour top speed. Maneuvers like a friggin' dirt bike. Let's see you make a gasoline version of this in this same size and form factor. Impossible. Where the hell are you gonna put the engine? Where are you gonna put anything? You know, look how thin that is. It's basically all one big tire. You know? Where's the exhaust pipe gonna go? The petrol tank. This friggin' thing alone wouldn't even fit the petrol in there to take you 200 kilometers. It's a mystery to me, because I know that petrol has more energy in it, but at the same time, look at this thing. It's friggin' magic, you know? And if this is garbage technology, what is with this whole 2 chargers situation? I never understood that. I mean, come on, imagine a truck manufacturer wants to fill up their truck faster, and they come up with the idea of 2 holes with 2 hoses that you stick in to fill up the petrol. I mean, it's stupid. You know, just get a bigger hole. Don't put 2 in. You know what the next big upgrade is, right? 3 chargers. You can have 3 chargers, guys. Get to know them. Give them all names, look after them. You know, you can have a whole gang of chargers, guys. A whole gang. A big happy family. Plug them all in and away you go. Can't go wrong. I can't wait. I just can't wait for that. You know? It's ridiculous, guys. Who's in charge of these things? And it's the same with this stupid port, the audio jack on the Sherman. Audio jacks short circuit when you plug them in. That's how they're designed. Who the came up with that? Oh man, I have no idea if that's even safe, but I do not like it. You know, I can't help but think about that every time I ride this thing. Because I don't know if I told you guys, but I recently discovered that indeed this thing does cut out on you when you short circuit the audio jack. You can try it. Anyone who's got a Sherman at home, while it's sitting there just on, balancing but not moving, try unplugging the rear light. Actually, don't really do this because you'll probably burn out your light. I already did to mine. But when you do this, it'll short circuit and the thing will switch off by itself. It'll cut out basically. So the thing I want to know is, does that also happen while you're riding? So if I was riding along and then the thing came unplugged, is it going to cut out and just send me to the... That's what I want to know. Because if it does, that is just... I don't know. So someone's got to test that. What's up, people? What's going on? Welcome back to another video. Hope you're doing well. Welcome back to the channel. And going for another little ride here. Actually got to go to the hardware store today to pick up some screws. I'm building a little greenhouse. I'll show you guys that later. Another beautiful day. Lovely weather again. Very lucky. Didn't look that good this morning, but it's looking great now. So one thing about this, well, this EUC in particular, is it's been zero maintenance. And I mean zero, absolute zero. Haven't even turned a screw. And well, speaking of screws, actually, I gotta go to the hardware store and grab a couple for a greenhouse I'm building. I'll do that now, actually. But back to what I was saying. On this EUC, the Sherman, I haven't had to do anything. Nothing. I haven't even looked at a screw. Thing's crazy. I've done like 5,000 kilometers now. The tire still looks pretty good too after all those kilometers, and I've been drifting on gravel. Actually, one thing that's been worn down a lot is the pedals. Check it out. It looks alright. I'm just a little bit worried that the pedal's not going to be as strong now. You know, if I'm standing on it and it just breaks all of a sudden. Look at that, guys. I don't know if that happened in one hit, one solid impact, or if that just slowly happened over time, but that's looking pretty rough. I'm hoping that's not going to affect the integrity of these pedals, because of course that's what you're standing on when you ride, you know. You don't want to have that just collapse on you. So let me know what you think about that. See, it's just that corner, and then this top bit is where your foot goes, and I'm just a bit worried just there it might snap off right there, but I think it should be alright. Once you get some sand on there, it's just like ice basically. And one thing that would help with control through slides especially is grippy pedals. Sorry?
Just the big one.
Oh, you can open it.
Oh, I'm not allowed to.
You're not allowed to open it. But you want to check it, right?
Yeah.
So it doesn't make sense.
That's just what we have to do. It's your bag, so I'm not allowed to touch it.
Yeah, so we're not supposed to touch your property. Yeah, so we're not supposed to touch your property.
So they want to check my bag, and I say yes, they can, and then they tell me they're not allowed to. They're not allowed to open it. Makes sense, huh? So let's go to this place that I recently found. It's like a racetrack basically. I've been trying to find, you know, gravel patches here and there because it's kind of the best thing to drift on apart from the beach. All I've managed to find so far is just like car parks and stuff, you know, or like blocks of land that are just covered in gravel. But now I found an actual track, you know, like a racetrack. It's next to the V8 supercar track where they race cars, and it's pretty awesome. It's like a loop and it's got lots of corners. So let's go check that out. Speaking of that, I just found another one. Let's go check this one out. Oh yeah, this place is new. It's a walk trail. Pretty ugly place really, but look at this, it's all gravel. This stuff is like pretty grippy. Big lake up there. Alright, here we are guys, this is the V8 supercar racetrack. I'll give you guys a good tour. But this is the gravel, well this place is where the gravel track is that I was telling you about earlier. When I found that other one by coincidence. But right now, we're at the V8 supercar track and it's just near the city. And interestingly enough, they used to race Formula Ones out here back in the 90s. It used to be actually one of the best tracks in the world, according to many drivers. I think Ayrton Senna said that. And now they don't run Formula One here anymore. And they just have the V8 supercars now, which are just like family sedans with V8 engines. You know, it's garbage. But it's a nice track. I'll show you guys now, look. So I'll head out here. See, normally there's no fence there and that's a long straight. The cars come down this straight, around this corner. And they go onto the street. They close up part of the city to run these races. See this street here? This main road? It becomes part of the racetrack. Pretty cool. It bothers the people that live around here. then you can't get out of your house, and all the noise. I mean, so yeah, this is the start of that straight I showed you just up there. So you can see the fence over there. Now I'm on the other side of it. And all over here is gravel. See, there's gravel here. It's not actually a loop. I thought it was a loop, but there's still a lot of it. The other place that I showed you just before, that was a loop. So you could make that into like a rally, EUC World Rally. Not bad out here at all. Not bad at all. Oh. Really big place and not many people, and there's like lots of different terrains to ride your EUC. There's the racetrack, super smooth road there, awesome corners for going fast, and there's all this gravel. And there's lots of grass. out for a bit. I actually hurt my foot again. Not really, not that badly, but just before when I fell over, the Sherman landed on my big toe and it like kind of squashed my toe, like the toenail. I'll see if it's gone black. Oh my God, it went black. Look at that. Oh well. Man, this thing's so heavy. Every time I fall now, I make an effort to run away from it. Because this thing is angry when it falls. You gotta watch out. All right, so let's treat that ailment. Look at that. It's all ready. Ah, lovely weather. Oh man, fuck. I didn't tell you guys as well. I've got 2 broken ribs. It happened like maybe 3.5 weeks ago. And the way it happened, I was just riding along and I was on my phone, so I wasn't going very fast. And I don't know what I did, I don't know what I was doing, but I ran straight into a handrail. You know, like I looked up and the thing was like 2 inches away from me. I couldn't do a thing. And it went straight into my rib cage. And I thought it might be like, you know, just, yeah, and I thought it just might be like bruised or something. But then when the pain was still there, like 2 weeks later, I went and got an x-ray and there was 2 broken ribs. So yeah, that's it doesn't really affect me though, unless I'm trying to lift something heavy with my right hand, like the Sherman for example. So yeah, I've got to lift stuff with my left hand and it should be healed in about 3 weeks. But yeah, that's like something I'm going to avoid from now on. When I use my phone, man, you go straight off the edge of a cliff. I actually used to live out here in the city and I would hear the Formula 1 every time it ran, every year. Friggin' loud. I'm like a mile away and it's still extremely loud. You know, that's something I've wondered, something interesting for you science geeks out there. How much power would you need to emulate the sound of a loud car or a motorbike, you know, like a Harley Davidson? You know, because I've showed you, oh, I haven't showed you yet, but this speaker can do like a Harley Davidson sound. So like, it alerts people that you're coming. I never use it, but I've wondered how many watts would you need to put into the speaker to actually make it as loud as a real Harley Davidson? I'm guessing like 10,000 watts or something ridiculous, maybe 5,000, because of, well, the way I can sort of make a guess, is based on a 500 watt speaker that I've heard, which is really loud. But man, those Harley Davidsons, you hear them from miles away, miles. Just how much energy is coming out of that, just in sound, you know, it's pretty crazy. So much waste though when you think about it, all that energy just to make that sound, when we on our EUCs use less energy to actually get around, you know, to accelerate to high speed and just cruise. And these things are just pumping out noise like it's the thing to do, you know. And the heat as well, they make a lot of heat, which is all just wasted energy. Actually, that's the biggest part. I think engines, out of the gasoline that they burn, 60% of that goes into producing wasted heat. 60%. That's crazy. An EUC or an electric motor, a good electric motor is over 90% efficient. So that means it generates less than 10% of the energy in heat and sound. So yeah, man. Gasoline engines, that's yesterday's technology. That's for sure. And you know, like, something I've thought about, because you hear these guys talk about, you know, how gasoline has got more energy in it. You know, I don't know if you've heard of Thunderfoot, that's a channel on YouTube. And many other guys like that will talk about how batteries are not the future, or they say, you know, they're garbage for cars because you need so many of them. They're so heavy. True. But then again, look at this thing. This little backpack-sized device can go 200 kilometers on a charge. 80 kilometers per hour top speed. Maneuvers like a friggin' dirt bike. Let's see you make a gasoline version of this in this same size and form factor. Impossible. Where the hell are you gonna put the engine? Where are you gonna put anything? You know, look how thin that is. It's basically all one big tire, you know? Where's the exhaust pipe gonna go? The petrol tank. This friggin' thing alone wouldn't even fit the petrol in there to take you 200 kilometers. It's a mystery to me, because I know that petrol has more energy in it, but at the same time, look at this thing. It's friggin' magic, you know? And if this is garbage technology, some nice sunshine now, guys. You gotta get some sunshine, you know? Get that vitamin D in you. It's not just vitamin D, you know, it's there's like UV rays that actually, what do? They turn, oh. Yeah, there's, I don't know. You wanna join in, DJ, give us more. Let me take you to the top, everybody move. Let the party begin, and it's just a flow. Yeah, we're about to begin. Nice sunshine out. Or so semi. Not direct sunlight, but nice and clear, you know? That's what I was saying before, actually. The sun is not just about vitamin D. Vitamin D, the way that happens, or the way that gets created, is it's a reaction between the UV. Sorry, I'll just turn the volume down. It's a reaction between the UVB, so the higher frequency UV rays, and the cholesterol just beneath the epidermis skin layer. And when they react, they create vitamin C, and it gets into your blood. But it's not just about vitamin D, not C, vitamin D. But it's not just about that. It's also, there could be many things, but one thing I know that's very interesting is the infrared factor. Infrared radiation is just a lower frequency that's just below the visible spectrum. So UV is just above it. So it's just above violet, ultraviolet, that's what it's called. Infrared is before red. So the visible spectrum starts at red and ends at violet. It's like red, orange, yellow, green, blue, indigo, violet. And outside of that range, we cannot see. So that's why ultraviolet is invisible and infrared is invisible. But what I'm saying is that infrared is actually very important to our health, it turns out. And this has only recently been discovered. And the discovery that was made was in relation to a newly discovered phase of water, H2O. And it's a slightly different molecule. I think it's H2O2 or something. But what it is, when infrared reacts with water, it actually alters the viscosity of it, I believe. The viscosity changes. So it allows it to flow freely through very thin pipes that it normally wouldn't be able to. Scientists have not been able to explain for a long time how it's possible that the human body sends blood through so many tiny vessels, tiny, almost microscopic. You know, science has many equations for explaining the relationships between pressure and fluid flow through pipes. You know, when they're designing plumbing for buildings and like big factories and stuff, they need to work out how much pressure they're going to need to send the fluid through a certain distance and arrangement of pipes. You know, how big are the pipes, what are the pipes made of, you know, the roughness of the inner surface, the fluid density, the viscosity, temperature. All these things go into equations that allow scientists and engineers to calculate what the result is going to be. How will the fluid reach the destination? How fast will it be flowing? And for a long time, science has been dumbfounded by the way the heart, the only pump in the human body, is able to send all that blood throughout the entire body through thousands of tiny vessels, almost microscopic. It's crazy. I mean, if you looked at the equations for fluid flow, you would see that that's impossible. And scientists have not known this for a long time, but they haven't been able to explain it. So what I'm saying though is that it goes to show how important the sun really is. We don't even know how important it is. I mean, we know that without it, you're gonna get sick and probably die, but we don't understand why necessarily. We know it's about vitamin D, and now we know it's about infrared. Well, vitamin D is really about ultraviolet, isn't it? Because the ultraviolet is what creates the reaction that creates the vitamin D. So it's about ultraviolet, it's about infrared. And what are they? They're just two spectrums just outside the visible spectrum, right? So who knows how many other parts of the spectrum are important? Go a bit higher than ultraviolet, you know, into, you know, gamma rays, X-rays, cosmic rays. We don't know if they're important. They might play an important role too in our body. We have no idea. And you could go lower than infrared too. So it's just a big spectrum of light, really, that it just sends us, just all this energy. And it turns out we need it. But many people are scared of the sun, you know, they like cover up every time the sun comes out. They have sunglasses on, sunscreen all over their body. I never use sunscreen. Never. If I think I'm gonna burn, I go in the shade. You know, that's what you do. You take enough sun until you know it's enough, and then you go in the shade. You don't put a bunch of chemicals on your skin and stand there in the middle of the sun all day for hours. You know, it's ridiculous. Come on, think about that. You know, it's maybe it's stopping you from burning, but who knows what else it might be doing to you. We're not meant to sit and just cook in the sun for hours, you know? But people are misled. They're told many lies. Many things we're told make no sense when you look into them. Here's an interesting fact. Look at the rates of disease based on latitude, right? The latitude is like up and down along the earth, you know, like north to south. So when you're at the equator, you're at 0 degrees latitude. When you're at the tropics, you're at either 23.5 or negative 23.5 degrees latitude. And then the higher you go in degrees or the lower you go, the further you're going from the equator and the less sunlight you get. The closer you are to the equator, the more sunlight you get. That's just how it is. And if you look at the rates of disease based on latitude, you're going to find that at the equator is where you see the lowest rates of heart disease, cancers, degenerative diseases, all kinds of diseases, autoimmune disease, you know. And the most interesting one of all is skin cancer. Skin cancer is lower the further you go from the equator. Three charges, guys. Burnout? That was an actual wheel spin. I got that in the slow-mo, so hopefully it came out. Hopefully it came up.